What's going on, guys? Today I want to give my honest thoughts and review on the Visions of Mana demo. So Visions of Mana is the latest entry in the Mana franchise. Similar to how Final Fantasy is, each Mana title has nothing to do with the previous one, so there's no need to worry about going back and playing the other games. This demo was actually very big and kind of stands on its own because you get 3 zones to play around in. You get a little small entry area that introduces you how to play the game and shows you basic mechanics and stuff. Then it throws you into a gigantic open world to explore, which is so much fun. I spent 7 hours there just kind of roaming around, fighting monsters, collecting all the treasure stuff, getting all the grizzly tears and stuff like that. So there's a pretty massive open area, and then you get the final area, which is a little town where you can explore and do more side quests, and then it eventually leads into the final boss of the demo. So I want to kind of give my thoughts and my review on the demo because it was a lot of fun. Starting off, the demo drops us off into a snowy area with 4 characters, 3 of which are playable in the demo. Right off, I want to say I love how vibrant this world is. Everything is so bright and colorful, and everything just kind of pops. And I really like this art style in games. Another thing I noticed right off were the voices of the characters we have here. They're very elegant, like you'd expect in typical fantasy worlds, all but one character.
Great, wonderful. Can we get out of the cold already?
Her voice threw me off at first, but not nearly off as much as this character did.
The ships there will take us to Illistana, capital of the deep.
I was not expecting that voice from that character, but I will say, as I played, the voices really they grow on you, and they kind of come into their own. So it's not too jarring. It is at first, but then they kind of grow on you and stuff. Now, for the first area of the demo, this area is pretty small, but allows you to get a handle on the combat, and something that's really cool that I like, that I think is very neat, is a little time mechanic that lets you slow time to cross a freezing flowing river. That way you don't take damage. You get these little elements for each of your characters and stuff as you play the game. In the demo, we have 2. We have a time one, and then we have another one which I believe is wind. The first area introduces you to the time mechanic, and there's little spots where you can use these things to slow down the time or even rewind time in some cases in other areas. And I really hope to see more things like this in the actual game, because I think it's really cool whenever they implement skills that are in the game or for your characters, and they put them in the game and use them as things in the overworld. I think that's really cool, and I hope to see more of that. We do see 2 of them. Like I said, we see the time one, and we do see the wind mechanic being used, or the wind element being used in the overworld. So we do have cases of those being used. So I hope in the main game we see more of that. We also get our first look at the combat here, and well, I think the combat is fun. It does have a small flaw. The movement in the combat does feel kind of sluggish at times. Other than that, the combat can be taken head on because it's an action RPG. But what's really cool here is you can set how your NPC players act whenever you're not controlling them. And while in combat, if you press the D-pad, you can freeze combat and select the skills you want to use for your allies or use your items or whatever, and it pauses the game. So it's similar to how Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is, where it lets you be more strategic on how you do your skills, do your abilities and stuff like that. The combat is a ton of fun, and there's so much you can do because each element we get in the demo opens up different attacks and different abilities you can use on your characters. And the 2 elements in the demo, you can change who you want to have each of them with. So like for one character, for the cat guy, I don't know their names off the top of my head. I know the main character's name is Val. Val starts off as a basic character. He doesn't have any elements. But then you have the dragon lady over here. She has an element that you can change in and out at will, as long as you're not in combat, that is. And the same thing with the cat guy. You can change these out, but you can't have two party members with the same element. But based on which one they are, they get different weapons, they get different abilities, and they do different attacks. So you need to kind of, take that into consideration whenever you're doing your attacks and stuff like that. And it does change the element, I believe, of the damage that you do. This next area really surprised me in a few different ways. One, this area is actually massive. There's so much to do and so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? I'm sorry, I had to. Anyway, moving on. There's so much that you can do here. There's chests you can look for. There's grizzly syrups you can grab, which is a currency that you turn into a little cub, I think, in the next town, which is really cool. There are little mini bosses, I guess if you will, or little named enemies that are stronger than the basic enemies that's in the game. And then there are even little trials and stuff you can do if you can find them. I've only found one, so I do believe the demo might only have one trial you can do. It's like in a little shrine area, but there's so much you can do here. I spent, like I said before, about 8 hours here in the open world, just kind of exploring. I think I got my characters up to like level 16 or 17 on the Xbox before I swapped over to the PC version, which we'll get into that in a moment. And the second thing that I was not expecting is that you get a mount in the demo. I kind of joked around whenever I first got here. This area is massive. Like, it'd be really cool to get a mount. Like, that'd be awesome. And sure enough, you take a couple steps and you get a mount, which is awesome. You get this giant little black wolf cub thing that you can ride on. And you can jump high, you can travel fast. You can even run into enemies with it and do a little bit of damage, which is pretty cool. I thought that was really neat. But while this area has its pluses, there was 2 little bugs that I did notice playing on console. There were many times that I would be in a combat situation. I would finish the battle, and then I would come out of the battle. I'd be done, but the game would think I was still in battle. So it wouldn't let me pause the game to mess with my inventory. It wouldn't let me call my mount. It wouldn't let me, in some cases, fight other enemies because they would ignore me. But that's the thing on their own. It could be a thing on their own anyway. But that bug was very annoying, and there was no way to like fix it other than just like finding enemies you can fight and doing more battles until it just kind of fixed itself. I even tried jumping off cliffs to reset it. Nothing would happen. It would just respawn me and everything would be the same. I still couldn't access my inventory, my main menu, my mounts, nothing. So that was kind of annoying. And then, like I said before, there was a group of enemies that you would kind of just walk to, and they just wouldn't see you, and they wouldn't aggro, and you couldn't attack them or do anything like that. So that was kind of annoying as well because you just couldn't do anything with them. But like I said, I don't know if that was a console thing or what, because once I swapped over to the PC version on Steam, I've played about 10 hours on the Steam version. I played about 10 to 12 hours on the Xbox version. I've had 0 issues on the Steam version as far as that goes for the bugs. So that could just be a console thing. So just if you plan on getting this on console, be aware. I don't know if this has been addressed or fixed yet, but on PC, there's no bugs that I noticed anyway. So we get this little initial area. We have a gigantic open zone. Then we get to a town with merchants and even more side quests to do. And the merchants here are actually really cool because you can go and you can buy new gear and new weapons that'll further boost your character's damage and stuff. Go back out into the open world and do more side quests and stuff for the people that are in a town. And it gives you a chance to like really get to know the town, the world of the area. It's really cool. I highly recommend doing this. It was a lot of fun to get to know what's going on, how people are, and stuff like that. And then getting to mess with more of the weapons. That's always a plus. So it was very neat. Then, like I said, there is a little cub here that you can trade in grizzly syrup for. There's not too much there in the inventory for the grizzly syrup, but you can do it. It kind of gives you an idea of what to expect going forward. So there's some story stuff here that I won't get into, and then we have the demo boss that I also will not show or get into, but I do want to talk about it. The boss here reminds me of an MMORPG. Final Fantasy 14. Anybody play that here? But anyway, the enemy here attacks whenever he's about to attack. He'll like raise his hand or he'll put it down somewhere, and you will see a little red zone show up, and it gives you. You have a few seconds to avoid that, or jump up and dash above the attack, or dash out of the attack. I thought it was very cool. I really like that in this game. It was a nice little touch, I thought. So I'm a huge fan of that. But the boss itself wasn't too difficult for me because, like I said, I did spend quite a bit of time grinding and leveling here, just kind of exploring around. I think I was level 13 when I fought the boss the first time. And I had the new weapons and stuff too, which really boosted up my damage. It wasn't too hard. It does hit kind of hard, and it can kind of get annoying sometimes, but it wasn't bad. I really enjoyed it the first time playing it. But after the boss is defeated and some dialogue plays, the end card appears, thanking you for playing the game, and that's the end of the demo. Did I have fun with this? Absolutely. Are there things that I think need to be fixed or refined? Sure, of course, it's a demo, and hopefully this demo build is an early version of the game and it's not the finished product. So there's that. Would I recommend this for someone to play? 100%. If you have any interest in this game, the demo's free on just about everything. Definitely check it out. I highly recommend it. And I myself am very excited to start playing it whenever it does drop at the end of August. So I can't wait to get into it and start like exploring the world and seeing all the new areas and stuff you can go to. But again, this is just a demo, and the issues that I did have, hopefully they've been fixed already before full release of the game. But those are my thoughts on the game and on the Visions of Mana demo, that is. Let me know what you think down below. If you have played the demo, or if you plan on playing demo, will you be getting this on day one or waiting for a sale in the future? Let me know below in the comments. I'm curious to see what you guys think of the game. But if you do plan on playing this game, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, because we'll be covering this game extensively, putting out guides for locations on farming levels or finding grizzly stuff, or I'm sorry, grizzly syrups, things like that. You definitely don't want to miss out on how to find certain weapons and all that. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Huge shout out to YouTube members for supporting the channel. I greatly appreciate you guys. If you want to become a member, we do have special perks. We are actually hosting our first tier 3 watch party. We're going to be watching some anime this weekend together. So if you do want to become a member and support the channel, I have tier 1 to all the way tier 3. I greatly appreciate it. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.